Hello there. Uh, Cookies here with EA Relay, turn 62. And obviously, our two mine hunts failed because a true god has ascended. So we got uh, feeble minded and feeble minded. So if this guy got transformed into a tart and sent to Tartarus for losing, this would be the feeble minded tart that you pull out in a different game, and you would be upset. So. So that's kind of that. TNG did do a little raid into Corbion, so we can check that out. This little stack of pale ones that he's been building up, presumably to come, I don't know, do something underwater, or maybe not really. I don't know. Pale ones are gonna do a heck of a lot against even my troopers. But they do have the siege bonus, so maybe this was just backup siege chaff in case he lost the siege. He could start moving these guys over to help. Um, and so yeah, so we see all this stuff. All my stuff has disappeared. But we still get to see everyone else's stuff, which is kind of cool. Or at least what our scouts could see, maybe. So we see, yeah, a decent number of things running around. Let's go ahead and check out the graphs. So in provinces, we can see the coalition was starting to do some work, but TNG was also starting to stabilize a little. Like, still slowly losing ground, but stabilizing. Femoria was gaining a lot. I was staying about the same, because it was all over Tarky Cradle. Um, Arco gained a little bit at the end when they came back to life. They had this whole period where they just didn't do anything. And then Airmore also, I guess, was starting to come back to life a little bit. In forts, um, I mean, we were keeping up in forts, like, reasonably well. This is losing Turkey Cradle. This is them gaining it. Um, Otherwise, yeah, we had a lot of forts, so I mean, the fort play, if the game had continued, would have worked out pretty well. Because the number of times I needed to completely rebuild my army was extreme. So having all those underwater provinces forted would have meant I could have just pump out like 12 mages a turn or something, something crazy. So I could rebuild my army pretty quick by the end there. In terms of income, we were doing pretty well. For a one-cap nation, but our scales definitely kept us reasonably competitive. Like, we never had as much gold as Femoria or TNG, but we were more localized. We didn't cover as much of the map, so I feel like we got to bring more gold to most of our fights. It just didn't perform super great, so that was nice. Did pretty well on eco. For gem eco, though, we can see the full impact of TNG just monstrously far ahead in gem economy. This is Fomoria's rating in the in TNG's like cap circle, I guess, because a lot of those provinces, at least from what Fomoria told me, had 5 or 6 gems in them, which was kind of bananas. This was us probably finding a bunch of gems in the throne that we got, because we had one bananas province, and that was our throne. But I mean, we had pretty good luck site searching, like reasonable luck, but we never really expanded. So we had this whole, like, most of the game where we just weren't taking territory, and so our gem economy suffered for it. But we kept up with everyone except TNG. So we were keeping up with Femoria reasonably well, kept up with Airmore. So we definitely had some gem eco. And so we did a pretty good job site searching our lands. So pretty happy with that, given that we were a small one-cap nation. In terms of research, we also kept up. So we were about on par with Arco. TNG kind of swept way up into first. This is probably them hitting Construction 6 and dumping all their fire gems into Lightless Lanterns, because we never really saw very many Demons of the Heavenly Fires. I think that's what they're called. So I imagine all those fire gems became lanterns, and he just used it to rocket research into space to be able to do stuff like Firestorm to us. So this was another really solid play from TNG. And then uh, Femoria was fighting the whole game, so they never really had a chance to rest a little and get their research off the ground, so they were struggling. And then Airmore started climbing and then kind of plateaued because they were really small. So yeah, we kept up reasonably well in research. In Dominion, we see TNG pulled away again at the end from claiming all those thrones, probably. You get a lot of free temple checks. Arco pushed a lot of Dominion, and then they lost most of their empire, so their Dominion went away. Similar thing with Airmore, gained a lot during the Throne Rush, lost a lot when it went poorly. We did all right. I mean, we had a lot of priests, so we kept up our Dominion. It can be hard for underwater nations to keep up Dominion, but I feel like we did a pretty good job this game, and Map Nuke makes it easier because the water provinces aren't 3 times bigger than the land provinces, like in the normal maps. So, and then Femoria, again, kind of, they could just never catch a break to be able to like do little things like push Dominion and stuff. So yeah, having the second most Dominion in this game feels pretty good. So we did pretty well there. Army size. Oh my. We got like a whole mountain range here. So we can, if we turn off some of the other nations, we can kind of see what happened to our nation, where we got wiped by Arco, wiped by Arco, wiped by Arco, and then this huge build-up as we beat Arco, we took that fort, then we took Turkey's Cradle, and then we lost 80% of our nation in 2 fights. Because this isn't from the end game. This is from that fight. This is the end game. So down here is what we had left when the game ended. But we lost all of this over those 2 or 3 turns to TNG. So we definitely tried to defend, and TNG just kind of killed our whole nation. I don't know, with like 100 demons in the Heavenly Rivers and Firestorm. So that was unfortunate, but we had some answers. We didn't bring them consistently enough. And then we also made some mistakes, and they were just also really hard to deal with. And so we got the crap kicked out of us. So lost a lot of stuff here. But including so had they had a little bit of a cap defense against TNG. They got rushed pretty early, and then they lost the big, well, it looks like a couple of big fights on their cap, and then they kind of died. And they ended up losing a conjuration discount site to TNG. So not only did TNG have this crazy gem income, but they were able to leverage that with a discount site to get even more sacreds. So their army size here was actually probably 80% quality, which compared to mine was a big difference. So yeah, well played by TNG to really leverage that site, leverage that gem economy to build a pretty unstoppable army. I think that army, it walked through Arco's army, it walked through Airmore's army, and it walked through my army twice. So that one force essentially walked through 3 players and came out victorious. So well done. Let's go ahead and take a look at some more. So you can see some of the TNG fights where they were trying to stop. I think this is the Airmore Throne Rush, so that fighting. Roos just kind of went AI immediately and then died. So they won one battle against Arco. but they lost all their commanders in it, and then they just kind of ran away and died. Helheim fought a little bit against Fimoria and died. This is Fimoria taking off from eating Helheim. Helheim went AI and died, but it took Fimoria a little while to consolidate the territory, so a lot of the gains that Fimoria got from Helheim kind of came after the Helheim collapse. So this is a lot of the Helheim gains for Fimoria. Marverni got a bunch of boars. We were pretty friendly with Marverni. Had some good trades, but then they got crushed by Airmore. So this is when they went down, and we vultured a little bit here. And then Airmore, with that big rise, they had big legions of basic infantry running around. And they got, I think this is probably their fight with Fimoria over that throne. And then they had a big fight with Tianqi. So Tianqi lost some stuff, but Airmore lost, I think, 400 or 500 units. And that was that same army that had beaten Arco. So this was the Arco Tianqi fight. So you can see Tianqi lost some stuff. Arco lost like 100 sacreds. So this was like almost all the Wind Riders. And then the follow-up fight where Tianqi fought Airmore and killed like Airmore's 500 stack. And then that same army came over, wandered over, killed like half of my nation and then the other half of my nation. So that's kind of the story of the army size graph. And then you can kind of see where I fought Arco. So like here, here, and here. And then we had a fight here where I think I actually gained an army size because I only lost like 15 units. So I recruited more that turn. I just spent a lot of gems on it. And in terms of, or was that? Yeah, that might have been it. Or maybe it was here. Somewhere in this area. Probably here. I think it was here. Because it was just a couple of turns. If we had waited a turn or two until we had mass protection, I think we were one turn away. So if we'd walked into the water and then come back out, I think we could have won this fight. So this was another really big mistake that I did in the game. And then for ascension points, we can see the Airmore Throne Rush, and then we can see the Tianqi. I would call it more of a throne push. They just kind of took over most of the map and then took thrones from people. So yeah, it was a really fun game. This Tianqi player is the Patala player in my Arco game, my late age Arco game. Really fun player to chat with. Really good player. Enjoyed chatting with Fimoria. I don't know why the Diplo with Arco was so weird this game. Couldn't get like a decent border. Like he actually triggered the weird underwater forever war option, I guess. Because I mean you have to defend it for it to be an option. So I didn't want to give one province, acted like I would be like some plague on his lands, and I would have given him a nap for one province, but he wanted to take all three and give nothing. I don't know. And then I think he tried to make peace at one point to go fight Tianqi, but offered nothing. Just wanted to keep the three provinces again. So he's plays Diplo where he just wants everything, but he doesn't want to give up anything. So it's just really bad Diplo. But yeah, enjoyed playing with Fimoria. Enjoyed playing with the Airmore player and the Airmore sub. They both seem pretty nice. Didn't really talk too much with the sub. Well, it chatted a little bit, but chatted more with the original player until they subbed out. And yeah, I had a good time. I got my ass kicked this game, but I actually really enjoyed it. I enjoyed chatting with Marverni. Chatting with Helheim was just really weird. Like the conversation was extremely weird, but managed to get like a nice border with Helheim, and Helheim seemed reasonably nice. Maybe it was just really high the whole time. I don't know. It was just a weird conversation. And maybe they just weren't familiar with some of the Diplo terms. I don't know. But yeah, it was a fun game. Oh, we can take a look at some of these sites. So where's Tianchi? So this is Tianchi, and then right next to him, you had an iron mine, unfound door, burial mound, two gold mines, the well of Whitewater, and a damned merchant. And then also had a copper mine, iron mine, had some more. Oh, that's a magma river. So this is 5 gems. This is 3 gems. This is 5 gems. This is 4 gems. 3 more gems. So yeah, just a lot of gem income in this home region. 3 more. 3 blood slaves. Goodness. 4. Gosh, 6. 7 gems. Oh my gosh. And 3 blood slaves and minotaurs. I would have afforded this. 100 gold mine. 2 nature gems. Yeah, just all the things. 4 pearls from the throne, plus 2, 3, 4 more gems. 2, 3, 4, 5 more gems. Yeah, just piles upon piles of gems. So you can see where that kind of ran away. I mean, I had some nice sites searching as well, but like especially this one. So I can't complain too much, but I didn't have that much in my. Yeah, I mean, I did have some stuff. I had like 4, 3. Yeah, I had good luck. I was just too small. So yeah, 3. So yeah, it was a good game. I really enjoyed it. Got my ass kicked. I've been commenting everywhere I can comment to try and come up with some better strategies for killing sacred piles of sacreds like that when you're playing a nation where you don't have a strong sacred yourself. You just have like national mages. So trying to kind of like figure out that piece of the Dominions puzzle because I just never had a good answer for these Demons of the Heavenly Rivers, and it'd be really good to have some more tools in my pocket, so to speak, in my toolbox. So yeah, I think that's it, and I will see you in turn. Oh no, I will not see you because this game is over. I will see you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.